So you clicked on this video because your house isn't selling and you don't know why? Well, stay tuned because I'm going to tell you the top reasons why houses are not selling. Hi, my name is Laura Griffin. I'm with Loudoun Living at Pearson Smith Realty. I'm a top-selling real estate agent in the Northern Virginia and Loudoun County area. I also run a very popular moms group called the Loudoun Moms. I have clients who call me all the time wanting my help with leveling up their home, with selling their house and buying a new one, or relocating to the Loudoun County and Northern Virginia area. And if you have any questions about buying or selling or anything about the Northern Virginia area, love to be a resource for you. My contact information is below. And if you like videos like this, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. So your house is up for sale and it's not selling. There is really only 4 reasons why a house will not sell. And I'm gonna save my top reason to the end because I think it deserves the end. So let's start with number 4. And that is your home is not easily accessible. And I'm not talking about being able to get to the front door, things like that. I'm talking about showing requests. So from a realtor standpoint, when we have a buyer who wants to see your house, we go onto what's called a showing time app. If your agent isn't using it or you don't know what this is, it is a website that we can go onto. It's an app on our phone or it's a web-based system where we can go in and say, I want to see 123 Main Street at 10 o'clock on Saturday. We go in, we go, yep, their 10 o'clock on Saturday is there. Click a button. It shoots either the seller or the list agent notification. They can go into an app and approve it. What happens is a lot of times I've been noticing lately is like the whole evening's blocked off, right? Like we won't allow showings after 3 p.m. any day of the week. You can only one recently was very interesting. You could only show it on Saturday and Sunday from 10 to noon. Now, the house had been on the market for like 65, 66 days. Well, yeah, because you're only allowing a 2-hour window every weekend, or actually a 4-hour window because 2 days. But that's really hard. And especially in our area, we have a lot of people who work and they come home a little bit later. And so they want to see a house at 5:30 or 6 o'clock at night. So be a little bit flexible with your accessibility. Also make it easy for the agents, right? Let us use Showing Time app. So that way we can see like, okay, there's other realtors that are showing at this time. I can't see it at 10 o'clock on a Saturday, but 9:30 is open or 10:30 is open. Great, I'll book that. Make it easy for them and don't decline a lot of showings because sometimes also what I'm seeing is I'll book 10 o'clock on a Saturday, declined. Okay, why is it declined? Is it a bad time? Is there a time that works better? Do you guys have the flu? What is it? And then you'll book, okay, well, what about 11? Book that, no, decline. Okay, and then I'll try another time, decline. It's like, okay, give us feedback. There's a way to do it, especially if you're using Showing Time and say, hey, everyone's got the flu this weekend or COVID or whatever, RSV. It's not the great time for it. But maybe you can come back, another day, or we have a birthday party and it's at our house from 10 to 1 o'clock on Saturday. Could you come at 2, 2:30, 3 o'clock? Perfect. Yeah, I can definitely do that. My buyers can usually be flexible. So making sure your home is accessible and easy to show for agents and their buyers, because I will tell you, sometimes when we're booking showings and a house is really hard to get into, sometimes it's a real big turnoff for buyers, especially now there's a lot more inventory than there was maybe 6, 7, 8 months ago. Buyers are not going to sit there and kind of, wait around for us to be able to show your house. So be accessible and be open to letting showings happen, reasonably, but try not to block off too much time so agents and buyers can come see your house, because if they can't see it, they can't buy it, right? Because buying a home is like dating. They need to come take your house for a date before they'll marry or buy your house. So be flexible and allow them to come see your house. Number 3 is marketing, right? So, right now the market's changing. We're having to change the way we market for homes. So we're having to do a lot more video content. Virtual walkthroughs have been a big thing, having floor plans, things like that since COVID's happened, because some buyers are not comfortable going into houses. So is your marketing campaign, working for you? Maybe things need to be changed up a bit. Are you running ads? Are you running targeted ads on Facebook? Are they running targeted ads other places on Google and things like that? What is the marketing plan and why is it not working? Does it need to be tweaked a little bit? But a lot of times it really comes down to marketing. And there's also, I think, one misnomer that some sellers have, and that is we need to have an open house every weekend. I think that having an open house the first weekend you go on market is super critical, because you're going to get the biggest, statistics show you have the biggest majority of people come through your house that first weekend. After that, we don't need it every weekend. If you do a major price drop, or there's something new that's changed, like maybe we got feedback that the house color is not appropriate, so we, repainted the whole house and we're kind of doing a refresh of marketing, yes, then do an open house that weekend as part of your marketing plan. But an open house every weekend doesn't work, because only 2% of homes are sold in an open house. So really, statistically, it's not really in your favor. So, don't do it every weekend. Do it at select times that make sense for you, because oftentimes it's just going to be your neighbors coming to look at your house. But definitely check and see, did the agent just throw a sign in the yard and put it in the MLS? It's not really going to help us. We need to have a marketing plan. We need to have plans in place of targeting the buyers that would probably want to buy your house, right? If it's a condo, we need to appeal to a condo buyer. If it's single family, we need to appeal to single family buyers in that price point, right? Not, we need to be a little bit more targeted on how we're marketing and what is that plan. So if your house isn't selling, oftentimes it's the marketing. Number 2 is the condition of your home, right? So back, at the time of this film, it's 2022. So in 2021, early 2022, you could have, bubblegum pink walls all over your house. The buyer didn't care. There was limited inventory. They would have bought it. Sight unseen, done. $100,000 over list price, right? So market's shifting, right? There's more inventory. Interest rates are higher, less buyers in the market. So it might be you and your 20 closest neighbors that are for sale. Your house needs to look on point. So we're going back to really having it cleaned, painted appropriately. Everything's been caulked. Carpets are clean. Carpets are replaced. If you haven't replaced your carpets and they're like 8, 9, 10 years old, definitely want to add that one to the list. And it looks nice, right? Have the stager come through. Have everything positioned properly. We need to bring some accessories in to make your house look more modern. Maybe it's a little bit outdated. So really having the house look like, I think the best thing that someone said to me the other day was, I like a house that looks straight out of a Pottery Barn magazine. And yes, it's a particular buyer, and buyers right now are very, very particular about the condition of the home. So yes, making sure everything's on point and making it look like it came out of a magazine. And if that means that you have to, in some cases, buy your next home and then sell your house when you've moved out, that might be a good solution for you. Or sometimes I recommend to people, going out of town for the first weekend or so it can stay nice, and putting a lot of elbow grease in the front end before your house goes on the market, because you only get that one chance to make the first impression. So making sure that, you have it painted and all the things are done, because it's too hard to make that adjustment 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks down the road. You've lost your pool of buyers. So do it before you go on the market and really have a strategic plan. And don't rush it, because sometimes I do get sellers who call and like, I need to get my house up tomorrow. And it's like, it's not ready. I don't care. Just put the pictures and just throw it up. No, you need to do it the right way. It's going to sell, and it'll sell for the price that you need if you do the work ahead of time and don't just throw it up. Okay. So my number 1 reason that your house isn't selling, it's the hardest one, and it's the one that no one wants to talk about, right? No one wants to talk about it. And that is your price is too high. I know I said it. Too often the price is too high. And it's a conversation a seller doesn't want to have. And I will say, sometimes as a realtor, we don't want to have it with you either. But it's a conversation that needs to be had. And we need to look at what's going on in the market. And I will share a story. This last early summer of 2022, interest rates were clicking up hot. It felt like it was like every week. It was like click, click, click. They were going up. Buyer demand had cooled significantly within just like a matter of like 3 or 4 weeks. And prices were starting to soften. And I had a listing, and if we had sold it maybe 8 weeks earlier, it would have been a different story, but we had to do some price adjustments. And that client was phenomenal. And they were like, yeah, whatever we got to do to sell this house, Laura, we got to do it. This is what the market is. I can't look at prices from 6 months ago. It's what today is the market. So look at what the market is now. Also, too often I see clients who are like comparing the house across the street. Maybe it's a different model. Maybe it's newer. Maybe it's got better upgrades. Maybe there's something different about it compared to your house. We need to look at comparables, but we also need to be realistic and say, well, that one had X, Y, and Z. Yours does not have that. So we need to be priced appropriately. And also know that right now our market is a little volatile, right? We still have inflation. We still have higher interest rates. Demand has cooled off a little bit. There's more people selling their house because they saw what their neighbors were getting and they put their house up on the market, or they have other things going on and they need to sell their house. And you don't know what their motivation is. So they might price a little bit different because they're motivated to sell. So having that fluid conversation constantly of what's going on in the market, do we need to adjust price? And maybe maybe you do need to adjust it because maybe things have changed from the time you put your house up on the market, a week later when the houses, people are seeing it, maybe they're like, the market's shifting. It is shifting that fast. So it's the one you don't want to talk about. And it's the one it's everyone's kind of emotionally tied to, and that's the price. But if you can look at it as a business decision and not financial or not emotional, so it's business, not emotional, then I think you'll be really successful, because oftentimes it's just the price is too high. And when we talk about price reductions, you're coming down in most cases to 3, sometimes 4% of the price, right? So this is not $1,000 price reduction. That's not going to help you. I see that a lot in our MLS, like, oh, I'm going to drop it by $1,000 and it's going to push it back up to the syndicated, the feeds, right? So it'll be the top on Zillow. Well, buyers are sophisticated these days, especially in Northern Virginia, and they can see, and on these apps now, it shows you like the price last week was X and the price, it's only dropped by $1,000, but it's been on the market for 47 days, right? Why is that? So the conversation at the beginning, I always like to say, hey, things might change right now. Long gone are the days when you put the sign up in the grass, and the next hour you had 20 offers and 5 of them were $100,000 over list price. It's not happening like that right now. So being realistic about your price and being realistic if we have to drop it is going to be the best thing for you. And let's have those conversations now, and that way no one is surprised if we have to do it. Hopefully we don't, but if things change and the economy changes when we have your house listed for sale, it's possible that we might have to change the price. Or if demand, or I've seen this one too. There's a neighbor who really has to sell their house. And so they see your house and maybe 5 or 6 other houses for sale. And they just put theirs on at a really good price. So they steal all the traffic and people buy that. Well, that's now your comp, right? And then I've seen this. And then in the same neighborhood, another neighbor's like, I really need to sell mine. So they dropped their price down to where this other one. So now you've got 2 houses at like a lower price, and you've got 4 or 5 other houses still really high. You guys are going to have to come down to that price, right? Unless there's something significantly different than your house. So it's a tough thing to do, and it's the thing that no one wants to do, but it's a conversation that has to be had. And if it's not the right time to sell, and maybe you need to pull the house and put it back up later, that's definitely an option to do. But have that conversation. So you have your house for sale and it's not selling. And the reasons why are, it's priced too high. No one ever wants to talk about that, but it's true. The condition of your home, does it show well? Is it appealing to the mass buyers? Maybe we need to address some things. Is your marketing on point? Are we marketing and having a strategy for your house? If it's not right, it's not going to sell, because you need to get your house in front of people, right? And that number 4 is your house accessible? Are we able to show it? Are you, not restricting people to 2 hours on a Saturday to see your house? So being more flexible on your showings and making it accessible for buyers. If you have any questions about buying or selling your house in the Northern Virginia, Loudoun County area, I'd love to be a resource for you. My email is below and my phone number is up above, or my contact information is in the comments below. Love to be a resource for you and answer any questions that you have about buying or selling or relocating to the Northern Virginia area.